were in the Troop D sector of the Pennsylvania State Police, which covers Beaver, Butler, Armstrong, Lawrence, and Mercer counties. 9 of the alcohol-related crashes took place within the Troop D sector. Additionally, troopers across the state made 547 arrests for driving under the influence and issued 31,128 total traffic citations, to include 1,318 individuals for not wearing seatbelts and 224 tickets to people for failing to secure children in safety seats. Testimony has resumed in the trial of a suburban truck driver charged with carrying out the deadliest anti-Semitic attack in U.S. history. Carol Black told a federal jury in Pittsburgh on Wednesday about how she and her fellow New Light congregants, including her 65-year-old brother Richard Gottfried, heard loud noises as they started Sabbath services in the basement of the Tree of Life Synagogue on October 27, 2018. She says they quickly realized it was gunfire and that some of them hid. Black says she watched as the gunman killed an 87-year-old member of her congregation. She found out later that her brother was among the 11 people killed that day. Robert Bowers could get the death penalty if convicted. Authorities say a shooting outside an eastern Pennsylvania home killed 3 people, 2 of them children, and wounded another person. Chief Brett Fisher of the Lebanon Police Force said officers dispatched after a report of shots fired Tuesday night. He and Mayor Sherry Capello said a 19-year-old man was killed along with 2 boys aged 8 and 9. A 33-year-old man was said to be recovering after surgery. The police chief said it appeared that one of the victims was targeted and the others were not. There were also other people in the house at the time the shootings occurred outside. Teachers are leaving their jobs at an accelerating rate in Pennsylvania amid fears of a nationwide exodus of burned-out teachers. A new analysis by Penn State Center for Education Evaluation and Policy Analysis shows that the rate of teacher attrition in Pennsylvania grew faster in the 2022-23 school year and hit its highest point in a decade of tracking. The past 2 years, schools saw relatively modest changes in attrition, even as teachers reported more dissatisfaction with the job. Penn State education professor Ed Fuller says now that labor markets are tight and it's much easier for teachers to find a job near where they live. Senator Elder Vogel Jr. has announced that Robert Lee from the Pennsylvania American Legion Veterans Assistance Program will be available on Thursday, June 8th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at his Cranberry Township District Office, located at 8001 Rowan Road, Suite 205 in Cranberry Township. No appointment is necessary. Lee can help veterans and their families with understanding the benefits they have earned, enroll in the VA healthcare system, assist with the appeals process, and more. Participants are asked to bring any documentation and paperwork they may need. For more information, contact Vogel's Cranberry Township District Office at 878-978-2575.
Here's the Beaver County forecast on 95.7 and 99.3 FM, along with 1230 WBVP, 1460 WMBA, and streaming at beavercountyradio.com.
Sunny and hot today with a high of 90. Cool and clear tonight with a low of 61. Mostly sunny tomorrow with a high of 93. A mix of clouds and sun for Saturday. No rain in this forecast with a high of 88. And partly cloudy for Sunday with a high of 82 degrees. That is a look at the news for now. I'm Matt Durzik for Beaver County Radio News. 95.7 FM, 99.3 FM, 1230 WBVP, and 1460 WMBA. Streaming worldwide at beavercountyradio.com.
It's time for Notes on Local Entertainment, the show highlighting the best in local talent. Hosted by Scott Tady Entertainment, editor for the Beaver County Times, and Eddie Crow.
All right, we got the blues to talk about. Let's get right to it. What's got you depressed? Scott Tady joins me now. Oh, that came out wrong. That came out like Scott Tady joining me had me depressed. I apologize. That's not correct. Scott Tady joins me now. It's Teleforum. It's the weekly visit when Scott, who is the entertainment editor for the Beaver County Times, when Scott comes by and we talk about music and whatnot. Off the air during the news right there, we were talking about the blues. So have you ever heard the blues song about I Can't Get the Blues by Reverend Billy C. Wirtz?
Oh, I forgot about him.
You remember him?
Yes, he was kind of a comedy blues kind of.
He's still doing a radio show down in Florida where he lives. For the people that don't know, he's the Right Reverend Billy C. Wirtz. Funny, weird guy. You know the community in Florida, and I don't remember the name of it. It doesn't matter. But where all of the carnival people live, I'm serious. That's the community.
Wow.
The people that made their living as attractions and oddities and freak show stuff.
I bet it smells like funnel cakes.
That's where he lives.
Wow.
And he fits in. But he had a blues song about everything's going okay. I can't get the blues.
Love it.
So how are you doing? You got the blues? What's bumming you out?
Well,
man?
if you want to hear some blues, you're in the right place this weekend. Aliquippa has this really cool thing, new concept called Uncommon Concerts and Conversations, and it's going to take place at Uncommon Grounds Coffee Shop. Billy the Kid and the Regulators, the great Beaver County blues band, the band that finished third in an international contest in Memphis. They'll be performing, and Billy himself, Evan Ochka, will do a little workshop with the kids ahead of time. If you bring your kids, he's going to show some blues riffs and kind of talk a bit about what makes the blues special. So that's the conversations part of this series. They're just launching. Well, they did it last year a little bit, but they're kind of kicking it up a notch this year. So it's called it's that Genesis Collective out of Beaver County. They're trying to make things more artsy and get the community involved. So yeah, if you're looking for something to do Saturday, get down to Uncommon Grounds right there on Franklin Avenue.
I will say this, and it's the God's honest truth. If you want to take up a musical instrument, say the guitar, the quickest way to feel like you're accomplishing something, learn the blues. Okay, because once you get it figured out, and there's two ways you can learn it on a guitar, and if you go slide guitar, it's even easier once the thing's tuned correctly. But that 1-4-5 with the chords, that na-na-na-na, it's simple, hard to get wrong, and it makes you feel like, oh, that's you fiddle around with guitar like I do, right?
I've tried teaching myself, and it's a fruitless
You know that feeling you get where you play and you go, hey, that sounded like something, and you get all excited? The blues are the first step into that, and the fact that that's getting taught to kids, not every kid's going to grow up and be a blues player.
But they'll get the appreciation for this American art form. And
it's a super easy way to feel like you're being musical because you are being musical.
Very true.
And it leaves a lot of room for the heart to get involved in it because musically it is quite simple. That's a brilliant idea.
I think so, too. I have an article up on timesonline.com. It's got all the details. There's also I think a jazz trio involved in this. So really neat idea to get kids involved, to get the public involved,
Don't start them on jazz.
Yeah, that's a whole other type.
There's
more than 3 chords there.
Yeah, you go from these are the rules of this to, okay, now there are no rules as long as you strike a pose when you hit the wrong note. Well, there's that wrong note? No, that's dissonance.
I like it. That's hard bop.
Let's go to the streets. What festival's coming up next? Because I know there's one this weekend.
2 big ones. In Beaver County, you got Darlington Days.
That's the one.
And that's just the quintessential festival. You got the fireworks. You got all the great foods, the parade. A 3-day yard sale. And like I interviewed the founder, she said, look, people know there's going to be traffic in town, so they're getting rid of their junk. So come get it.
So they're just dragging their junk to the street?
For 3 days.
While you're sitting waiting to park, would you like this bowl set?
Let it rain. We don't care. But the novelty, of course, is they have
that's brilliant.
Polo. The Darlington Polo team is out there playing polo. If you've never seen a polo match, it's a hoot. Darlington's one.
It's a hoot.
Well, is that a better word? There's.
I don't think the horses think it's a hoot.
Well, that's a good point. But
the horses are like, why are we doing this? You couldn't hit that ball with a stick on foot.
Yeah, that would be what lawn darts or no? What's that thing called? Croquet.
Croquet.
Yes.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's just to do that, and there's a novelty this year. Norfolk Southern is donating some of the money. The train derailment people, let's be honest, trying to get back in some good graces with the community. They're forking the money for the fireworks, so it's going to be an upgraded fireworks. They're going to have they're paying for the kids zone. They bought a new trailer for the group. I guess Easter weekend a tree fell on their trailer and heavily damaged it. So Norfolk Southern's pumping some money. Yeah, it sounds like a blues. So if you want to support people in Darlington and do this really fun festival, here's a way to do it this weekend. And also in Pittsburgh, the big Three Rivers Arts Festival. I'll be there opening night for that.
Doesn't that guarantee rain? Isn't that the rule?
Normally, yes, but it's looking like it's going to be 90 tomorrow. And I keep telling people there's a new footprint this year, new location. This stage is going to be right across the river from PNC Park. Remember last year they tried moving the stage right in the heart of downtown, like 9th and Penn. Really mixed reviews. Some people, I thought it was cool. Other people didn't like it. They're trying something different. They're going to have it where they had this, what they called the Allegheny Overlook stage in 21, and I love it. You feel like you're in a cool place. You feel like you're in a You realize you're in Pittsburgh. If you're just surrounded by tall buildings, you could be anywhere. You could be Philly. This
True.
has a Pittsburgh feel, PNC Park, and there's games all week. You got traveling fans, too. The Cardinals are in town. They're like Steeler fans. They travel well. I believe
Cardinals fans and Cubs fans, when they're in town.
they're also in town. So
Yeah.
the place is going to be hopping. So get down to the arts festival. Then the people who like the actual, arts, the crafts, the vendors, that's going to be on the same street, Fort Duquesne Boulevard. So that's kind of ground zero there, just to be on Fort Duquesne Boulevard. It's going to be closed down. It's a 10-day event. It starts tomorrow.
I find myself forced to ask the obvious question. Do you trust fireworks in the hands of an organization that managed to set a steel wheel on fire?
I don't know where to go with
Ponder that. We'll be back. Scott Tady is my guest. It's Teleforum, talking about shows and fireworks and blues. Na, 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 na.
Beaver County Radio and the Pennsylvania Hot Rod Company are teaming up to present Cruisin' on the Ridge, a series of car cruises during our 75th summer celebration that will be held the third Saturday of every month from 12 to 5 p.m. at the new Beaver County Radio studios. The first cruise featuring the Dawn Savage Band will be on June the 17th, and it will be a grand opening celebration at the new studio location at 4301 Dutch Ridge Road in Brighton Township. There will be a live Beaver County Radio broadcast, food trucks, prize giveaways, raffles, and 2 50/50s. The 3 other cruise dates are July the 15th, August the 19th, and September the 16th. They'll also be held at the new studio location. Cruisin' the Ridge is being brought to you by Patriot Home Care, Balcones Moon Township Ford, Circle of Friends, the Ambridge Italian Villa, Friendly Federal Credit Union, the J&J Spratt Funeral Home, Town Square Restaurant, the Standard Restaurant, T.L. Ferguson Building and Landscaping Supply, the Beaver Valley Auto Mall, the Bell Bridal, Junction Auto, the Pennsylvania Hot Rod Company, and Beaver County Radio.
Make this the year you make all your remodeling dreams come true and call Carver Construction in New Brighton today. Satisfying customers since 1982 for both residential and commercial renovations. Professional, reliable, and fast. These are words you don't easily come by in the construction business. Let Carver Construction help with your remodeling plans right now. Spring is almost here. Call 724-847-1572 or visit their website, carverconstructionpa.com. Carver Construction, building dreams one home at a time.
The Cornerstone of Beaver County is a nonprofit working to end homelessness and is now opening the doors of its long-awaited 24/7 men's emergency shelter on June 12th. The 24/7 men's shelter in Vanport fills a critical gap in our county's homelessness solutions and provides supportive services to help guests rebuild their lives by securing permanent housing and a future of hope and possibilities. Stop by the new men's shelter for a community preview tour on June 6th and 8th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. and June 7th from 6 to 8 p.m. Visit cornerstonebeaver.org for more information. Summer is just around the corner. Have your air conditioner serviced and checked by a professional at Burns HVAC in Rochester. They have been serving Allegheny, Beaver, and Butler counties for over 30 years. No worries, they are fully insured and licensed. Whether it's heating, cooling, or even ventilation, Burns HVAC can help. They repair, install, and service all your needs. Burns HVAC is professional and takes pride in their work with efficient and prompt service. For price or service, call Josh at 412-522-0465 or visit BurnsHVACLLC.com to schedule an appointment. Put your house in the cool zone with Burns.
It's the place that makes your ears happy. The sound of a Beaver County radio broadcast live from the St. Barnabas Studios at 1230 WBVP Beaver Falls and 1460 WMBA Ambridge.
If you would like to see Scott Tady, that's simple. Just go on the station Facebook page, Beaver County Radio. If you'd like to listen, you don't even have to do that, but this is being live Facebook feeded. Scott Tady is my guest. He is the entertainment editor for the Beaver County Times. Has anybody ever attempted to bribe you for a press pass? And the reason I ask, I see the cost. People are paying thousands of dollars for Taylor Swift tickets.
They are, yes.
You get credentials. That's what the fancy word is. That gets you in. Has anybody ever tried to bribe you to get your credentials?
I've had people I haven't seen in 20 years, like one of my coworkers in Wheeling, West Virginia, hit me up last night. Hey, what shows are you taking me to this year? So
really,
it's not so much the bribe, but hey, I haven't seen you in decades. You got 2 for Taylor?
I'm hoping you're still alive, and if you are, can you hook a brother up?
Yeah.
Do you even respond to that?
I try to come out with something funny, or let them down easily, but have a little bit of a snark to it.
Okay, so you tell them no,
right?
You just figure out a way to tell them no and amuse yourself with it.
Something like, what do you need? Front row, 3 in the front, something like that. Or
she's coming by the house later. Why don't you come by? Run by the shop and save and get a deli ring, and we'll hook it up.
Hey, speaking of food, and we were talking blues, I got to give a shout out to one more local event. I put my reading glasses on first. New Brighton on June 3rd, the Beaver County BBQ and Brews Fest, 2 to 7 p.m. Barbecue prepared by local restaurants and vendors. There's going to be local craft breweries, kids games. That's at Townsend Park, New Brighton. Benefits Big Brothers, Big Sisters. So June 3rd, Beaver County BBQ and Brews. So not blues, brews.
Brews.
Oh, okay. Whatever you're into this weekend, it's there
Can
in
you-
Beaver County. Polo, barbecue, blues.
Polo. Why? And the reason I was slagging on Polo, one of my dearest friends in the world, trains horses to do that.
Oh.
That was not. I'm.
Well, that's how Bob Prince got his voice, right? He got hit by a polo mallet is one rumor. There's other rumors that
I
it was a
guarantee
jealous
you-
husband is another rumor. But
I guarantee you that's not how that happened.
you're going to tell me next that Babe Ruth didn't eat 18 hot dogs on a train, and that's why he was sick that one day.
That did happen.
Really?
Yes.
Is there proof?
Yeah. Back in the day when the writers traveled with the teams, you hear rumors, you know things. I mean, here, I'll throw you under the bus with that concept. You've been backstage at a whole lot of rock and roll shows. You've been backstage at a whole lot of everything. You've been in the private areas, the places where the nameless, faceless rabble don't get to go. How many stories could you tell if you wanted to tell when it came to boorish behavior, when it became ludicrous? Because I can tell you a whole lot of 80 stories about rock bands backstage.
Not as many stories as the groupies could tell, but
Right.
I think it's gotten a little more calm. There's more. Well, more of the band members are on recovering
Blood
alcoholics.
thinners?
And, yeah, that too. One of the weirdest things, I was backstage with David Duchovny, if you X-Files fans. We were having hummus together.
That is a short story. The day I had hummus with David Duchovny.
We could add some.
What kind of hummus was it? Do you remember the flavor? Because hummus can be really good and hummus can be bad. If it's roasted red pepper hummus, right on. Pine nut hummus.
Oh, that's real good.
Surprisingly tasty.
Totally agree. Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
anytime you get plain hummus, come on, you were already grinding the crap up. Throw a spice in there. Commit to the bit.
I can't argue.
All right. Best backstage food spread or spread in general that you've ever seen. I've got a favorite, but I want to hear your thoughts first.
I guess my favorite is with Tommy Stinson and the Replacements. I got to eat pizza with, and just me and him alone in a room having pizza was kind of cool. It wasn't that it was great food, but it was, as someone who grew up a huge Replacements fan, I still can't believe it happened.
You're just sitting there going, "Oh my God, I'm eating pizza with a replacement."
Exactly, and try not to geek out. How about you?
The train setup that Neil Young sets up backstage.
Oh,
have you ever seen it?
I know he's real into trains.
He backstage the entire, at Star Lake, there's that tinted area with all those picnic tables. That's where the roadies are getting their food. Everybody's hanging out.
Yeah.
Half of that was gone because he set up a full-blown train setup. It was absolutely beautiful.
Are you allowed to take pictures?
Pictures were taken. Neil wasn't around. While we're talking,
Warped Tour had always a fun one. That was when you had like literally 60 bands playing at Star Lake, and
yep.
it was a non-stop food fest, and all the grungy people from the vans would come in, and it was this non-stop food. That was a good time too.
And that's how they were getting paid. They were getting a case of beer, and they were getting promised food, and come on out, and you're playing the front stage at 11:30 in the morning.
Exactly. With
right on, they don't care. Scott Tady is my guest. It is Teleforum. We're talking about entertainment. I do want to ask you, what is the responsibility of a crowd versus the demands of the lead singer? Somebody this week, I believe it was Mellencamp,
he told the
came
crowd,
out and said, "Hey, shut up! You're here to listen to me. I'm not." He didn't say that, but you know what his nickname is according to his crew, don't you?
You told me that 2 weeks ago.
He's the little bastard.
That was it. I didn't know you were allowed to say that.
Well, it's in a clinical sense. He can go from zero to ungodly like that, and he did that on a crowd.
Which is so funny because I was like 2 nights after Pittsburgh, and he was pretty chill in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I silently applaud when singers do that. I saw Ray LaMontagne at Stage AE do the same thing, and he used that naughtiest of swear words, and he said he would refund anyone's ticket if they got the heck out of there right then and there because he was tired of them talking. And I later asked the stage AE, and they said no, nobody left. But I don't like when people talk during the show. You do it. Go to the bar and do that. Go outside and don't disturb me. I never got that. So I love when a singer does that. I love when it's not necessary, but if it is happening, speak out.
Now, who was nastier? Because Ray LaMontagne seems, at best, depressed and forlorn.
Yeah.
I love Ray LaMontagne.
Yeah.
Ray LaMontagne and the Pariah Dogs was his band at one time.
That's right, yeah.
Phenomenal singer. I like super simple stuff. Talk about technically not difficult. Soulfully, brilliant. But I can't picture him really flipping out like I can Mellencamp.
That's what made it surprising. Counting Crows singer Adam Duritz. He's been known to do that as well. He did it once at I'm trying to remember what venue it was, because I was seeing Journey at Starlight. He was doing it somewhere else. But so I don't know. It'd be nice if it wasn't necessary, but sometimes
it's rude.
Of the band?
No. Of the people doing it.
Yes.
You're showing up. Everyone around you showed up to hear one person share their thoughts or one band share their thoughts. And I'm going to share my thoughts with them too. No. If your thoughts were worthy of being forced upon others, wouldn't you be on stage? It's rude. If you don't want to enjoy the concert, then like you said, go outside. If there is an emergency, go outside.
I've often moved where I was standing or sitting for a concert. Sometimes I've had to move to the back of the place just to get away from people talking, because it's going to detract from my
What did you show up for? If you and I show up to a concert, let's say Taylor Swift, we each pop $1,000 because deep down we're both Swifties, okay? We show up, each spending $1,000, and then you and I just sit there about, what's her favorite song? That she, If we don't get pummeled by all of the 15-year-old girls around us, God gave us a break. It's rude. Talk at home. Talk while you're waiting to get into the venue. Don't talk. You paid money to see this act. Pay attention to the act.
I thoroughly agree. I've seen T-shirts that say, you're missing I'm losing the punchline. But yeah, there's T-shirts out there to tell people not to do that. You're being at the concert.
Who's more rude as a crowd? A young crowd? Or an established, I don't know, kind of a polo crowd?
The established crowd. The young ones will scream a lot and they'll talk, but once the music's on, they're into it. They'll dance. I mean, maybe at worst they'll be singing along off key, but
so what? They're enjoying the show.
It's hard to fault someone for that. But the older ones are more likely to be, just having the conversations or getting up 10 times to refill their White Claw or whatever. And I don't know. I mean, like a Jimmy Buffett crowd. That's one of the reasons I mean, like 8 years ago to see him, because the crowd is just rubs me the wrong way after a while. The people that get drunk once a year and can't handle it. It's not the Metallica crowd that does it every weekend.
It's weird, but that's exactly right. Worst crowd to be sober at when they're drunk, would it be Buffett?
Yeah.
Because here's the deal, and
it's kind of built on that.
If you're in a drunk crowd and you're drunk, it's a pretty good time.
Yeah.
If you're in a drunk crowd and for whatever reason you're sober, those people are off-putting.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. That the Hank Jr. show is going to be interesting. That's June 10th.
Where's the methadone crowd? I don't mean that in a bad way. What did I not ask you that I should have? Today went quick because we covered a bunch of stuff.
We talked about a lot of things. Someone just texted me, first place Keystone, congratulations. I guess I won an award today. I'll have to look into that.
You did?
I guess so. Someone just texted me. But anyway, I'll look that up. I think we talked about the blues in Beaver County and what's going on, right? We forgetting anything?
You realize that I've been surrounded by award winners. Mike Romine, Employee of the Month.
First person to have me on the air, Mike Romine.
Mike Romine, yes. So he's to blame. Yeah. Well, he got him a plaque. And what did you win?
I don't know, a Keystone Award, I think, if I'm reading this text correctly.
All right. Well, congratulations, Keystone Award winner and editor for the Beaver County Times.
Hey, next week we have to have a big show here. We have to do this right? You and I.
Why?
Because isn't it one of the last times?
Are you implying that we didn't just do it correctly?
That's a good point. I have an interview coming up with Peter Noon of Herman's Hermits. Maybe you and I can sing some Herman's Hermits next week.
Mr. Jones, you've got a lovely daughter.
Or Henry the Eighth, I am. What do you think?
I think we need to. This is why we have meetings before shows. Peter Noon's not dead?
No, of course not.
He's not even.
I interviewed Little Anthony. I got to talk about that next week too. He's coming to Midland. 82-year-old Little Anthony.
Right on, man.
Gave me a half hour of quality interview. He is so excited, and he remembers his first show in Pittsburgh in 1958, right after Tears on My Pillow came out. He played the Syria Mosque. He vividly remembers that.
I remember the capes.
Oh, yeah.
Little Anthony and the Imperials, they had the capes, and they were black, shiny on the outside and like a crushed purpley red on the inside.
You know, it was Alan Freed gave him his nickname.
Of course it was. How'd that work out for Alan?
He heard the song. He goes, "Oh, who is this woman?" And it's like, "No, Alan, that's a man singing." He goes, "Well, he must be little." The name stuck.
Do it up, do it up, do it, baby.
That's pretty good.
Well, I stole it from Garland Jeffries.
Oh.
Thank you, sir. Pittsburgh Guitars is a proud sponsor of Scott Paulson and Radio Stella on Beaver County Radio. Locally owned and operated since 1979, offering a wide selection of new